Howdy y'all, I'm Andy Baylor with the Fayette County Record. I'm here with my colleague, H.H. Howes.
That's me.
We're at Art Connections Gallery on the Square in LaGrange, and we're here to talk with author Marie Watts, who has a book that just came out, The Cause Lives.
Lives.
And a little...
Lives.
Lives. The Cause Lives, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And here in a second, we're going to talk about the book, but right now we're going to talk about some headlines in the paper. Yesterday, I was over at the courthouse where the Derek McKenzie trial was taking place, and that it ended in a mistrial on the first day of jury selection. And you can read about the happenings at the courthouse yesterday.
That inconvenienced a lot of people, didn't it?
About 350 folks were called in for jury duty, and they sat there all day. And at the end of the day, it was ended up being a mistrial. Also, there's a man that was at the elementary school here in LaGrange on Tuesday. Went to have lunch with his daughter, and then ran over to buy her an ice cream treat somewhere in town. And when he came back, he jumped over the fence because he said he didn't have time to check in at the office.
Well,
that caused a little bit of excitement at the school while folks were trying to figure out why this man was jumping over the fence. But turned out everything was all right. Nobody was hurt or anything. Some sad news, our friend Chad Ferguson at the Columbus Banner Press passed away. All of us in the newspaper business knew Chad. Great guy, great sports writer, and he's going to be dearly missed.
Yeah, he is. Groundhog Day, Texas style. This is about an armadillo. What's this guy's name?
Ralph Fisher.
Ralph Fisher. The
Fayette County's most famous animal wrangler.
Animal wrangler. That's how we described him. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay.
Yeah, so
Marie,
that's your copy of the paper.
Thank you. Great.
And
Perfect.
let's have a seat and talk about this book that just came out.
Sure.
So tell us a little bit about the book. I haven't had a chance to flip through it yet.
Okay. The book follows investigators that do federal investigators who do employment discrimination investigations. Okay, and that includes sex harassment, race discrimination, and age discrimination, all sorts of things. I spent my 30 years of my career doing these kind of investigations, and I think in these days there's so much unrest, so many issues about diversity that I thought bringing this to life in fiction, I could discuss some of these things. I also have trained thousands in diversity, lots of minorities in diversity, not just white folks. Everybody has biases and prejudices, and they're natural. We have them, we can't help it, but we need to learn to control them. So,
Hand me that book.
yeah, so you'll follow the characters. Not only is they go after the guys, the harassers, and also they're fakes. People unfortunately file fake charges, okay? Mm-hmm. So we follow that, but we also follow the lives and the inner workings of the people who are doing the investigations. Because, you go out and do an investigation, but you still have your personal life that you're dealing with. Yeah.
In today's paper, we have a question and answer little article in there with Marie where she explains some of the things. And one of the things you talked about is how you decided to put all this in a work of fiction. Mm-hmm. Can you talk a little bit about that? Why you chose this medium?
Well, if I told all the people and the names, I'd get sued, frankly. So there we go. And that gave me some liberties. And as for a work of fiction, it did give me some liberty to, kind of embellish stuff. I did have some times in my career it was kind of scary,
Tell us one.
Okay. We had a case when I was working in the EEOC in Houston, and I was the only white investigator on the team, and it involved the Ku Klux Klan, so they sent me out to do the investigation. And, I had one time had a guy who threatened...
The Ku Klux Klan, was it discriminating?
Well, it was involved. It was an employee. No, it was. Well, duh. Yeah, no. It was an employee at a restaurant, and the Klan came into the restaurant. Okay, and made it a very uncomfortable situation for the employee.
How did you get into that line of work?
It's what happened is I had an undergraduate degree in psychology and social work. Figured out there was no money there, so went back and got my MBA. But I am just not. My brother got all the science brains, the math brains, and so I went into the human resource arena. It was I had previously worked for the Social Security Administration. So when I decided to go back after having children, market was bad. I had sworn never go back to work for the government. Guess what? I went back and I went at the EEOC, and it turned into a lifetime career. Because, you know, personally, I've had some disappointments. I'll never forget when I was in elementary school. My dad was an amazing man. And I have a brother that's 18 months younger, and my brother, you know, he taught my brother to play baseball, and he pulled me right in there, and so he taught me everything he taught my brother. My first big epiphany was when I went to my brother's Little League tryouts and watched the little boys trying out, and the ball would roll between their legs, and I go, I can play better than that, and they won't let me play, and that just...
Yeah.
I mean, I think that
was gender discrimination right there, wasn't it?
Absolutely, and so I have been compelled my life to want to right those kind of things.
Yeah.
Now, does that mean I would run over companies and charge them when they weren't guilty? The answer is no. But try to be fair, look at the situation, and figure out whether, and discrimination has to be based on legal things, okay?
Like what?
Okay, the EEO law is comparative. So say you fire me because I'm sleeping on the job, okay? Well, that's...
You can be fired for that?
Duh, yeah.
You'd be in a lot of trouble with that.
You'd be in trouble with you. Okay, so if you're going to say you fired me for sleeping on the job because I'm white, the only way I can prove it is if you have somebody who's of a different race, say African American or Hispanic, and they slept on the job, you saw them, and you didn't fire them, then I can say it's race.
Yeah,
okay. But if you fire both the white and the Hispanic for sleeping on the job, there's no discrimination. So it's and maybe you hadn't done anything wrong and you worked there 20 years. Unfair? Absolutely. Illegal? No. So there's legal things that you have to do when you're doing employment law. Yeah.
But where can people buy this book?
Right here at the Art Connection Gallery.
Yeah, that's right.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, the Art Connections is a great little book nook over here, and this book is on the shelf over here. Is it anywhere else around town?
You can get it on Amazon, but they're my exclusive distributor here.
Okay.
And I'm having a book signing. Okay, Saturday.
When is that going to be?
Right down here, February.
February 16th. That's not this Saturday, but
next
Saturday.
Yeah.
From 1 to 7 p.m. So y'all need to, everybody that's watching can come down here and meet with Marie and learn more about.
Yeah, and we could be here to chat and discuss anything anybody wants to discuss.
And if you haven't been to Art Connections, it'd be a good opportunity to look around because they've got a lot of great stuff.
Gorgeous, gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, it's one of our favorite stores on the square. There's tons of stuff for everybody here.
Well, good luck with your book.
Thank you.
Is this your first book?
No, I have had a long-standing textbook out on human relations. I co-authored. It's been on the market since about 1990, and
still in print?
Yeah, I still get royalties from the thing. Can you believe that? I am the author of the LaGrange book that tells the pictorial history LaGrange.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, yeah, that's mine, and I have another novel that I published back in 2003. So I'm getting geared up. The second, For the Cause Lives, the second book, it's going to be a trilogy. The second book is about halfway through, so I'm anxious to get back working on it.
That's great.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And we appreciate you being with her today.
Absolutely. And here's
Deb.
Hi.
Here's Deb, the proprietor of Art Connections. So everybody come down here on the 16th, and you can meet with Deb and Marie and check out all the books over here in the Book Nook and all the other wonderful things that are in Art Connections.
And if you can't wait and you really want to read the book before the 16th, we have it here.
Yeah.
And it will be available at our second Saturday soiree this Saturday as well.
Wonderful.
So
Wonderful.
thank you guys for coming in.
Yeah, thanks for having us again, and it's nice to meet you, Marie.
Thank you.
Remember, you can always find us at FayetteCountyRecord.com. All these videos go to YouTube as well. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Thanks so much for watching, and thanks for reading the paper.